Alright, Algebra 2, welcome to week 2 of my videos. Hopefully I'm getting better at them. I'm looking at the camera rather than every which way. Kind of what the syllabus or what the plan is for this week moving forward. I've got 2 videos, one video today, one video tomorrow that I want you guys to take a look at as a part of your work. And then for the second portion of your work for Monday and Tuesday, today and tomorrow, you're just going to be asked to either comment on the video, either in Canvas, under our discussion page, or on YouTube, or send me an email. Anywhere, just throw a comment up. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know how it's going. Let me know what's going on with you in understanding this math stuff. If you're having trouble with it, I'd love to hear from you. And you'll get credit for your work for those for Monday and Tuesday if you do that. Or if you don't feel like commenting on it, I have a work packet going out. You can start working through the work packet on Monday and Tuesday's work within that packet. Other than that, this week, so that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to be working in the work packet solely. You're going to get some work done and then submit it on that day. On Thursday is going to be a catch-up day. You're going to catch up from what you have not, either days that you missed earlier this week or days you've missed earlier in previous weeks. If you need to know what you've missed, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. On Friday, we have our social emotional day where you can meet with Miss Armistead, Miss Johnson, Mr. Nelson, Mr. Bergenholtz. They're going to be doing kind of a group hangout where it's not going to be just directly related to school, but also related to anything else that may be going on. I know Mr. Bergenholtz would love, if you guys have watched The Last Dance, the documentary about Michael Jordan, I know he'd love to hear from you and what you thought about that. After that, that'll about do it. So let's get to the math piece. I've had some people reach out, and we've done range and domain already on this remote learning stuff, but I have people reach out and say that they've had issues with the range and domain, getting kind of confused by it. So I wanted to go over it and take a look at what range and domain are. So I put a couple things up on the board. Let's take a look up here. The objective is you will be able to label the range and domain of a parabola. Okay, I've got a couple parabolas here. We'll take a look at what those are. And then I kind of wrote up over here what our ranges and what our domains, what the definitions are. So the range is all my y values in a function. The domain are all my x values in a function. All right. Remember, y values are going up and down, okay? X values are going across. All right, this is my x-axis. We can just put an x here, and this is my y-axis, So when I'm dealing with, we're going to start with domain. I like working domain first. So when we're dealing with domain, which is my x values, we're looking from left to right. We're saying, where does the function begin, or where does the figure begin? Where does it end? All right, and we're just focusing on the left to the right. So this is a parabola, and it starts, this is where I would say it would start. Okay, it starts there. However, because it's an arrow kind of pointed up, and it's always going to the left a little bit, even though it looks like it's going up, it's still going to the left a little bit. So that means it's going to keep going forever to the left. So I'm going to put a parentheses. I'll put negative infinity, because this is going to start, it's never going to stop. It's going to keep going to the left, negative infinity. And I put a comma, and I see how far it's going to the right now. So I say, all right, again, it looks like it's going up, but it's going to go ever so slightly to the right as well. All right? So that's going to go to positive infinity, because we have those arrows. When dealing with parabolas, this is going to be our most common domain that we're going to see. Negative infinity to positive infinity. We're almost always going to see that unless there's a break in the parabola somewhere. But when we're dealing with parabolas, our domain from left to right is going to be all the x values. Our range, now we're looking from bottom to top. So our low point to our high point. So our low point, we see, okay, we're on our y-axis now, and we say, okay, where's my low point? My low point, oh, is going to be right on the y-axis, which if I'm looking here, I go over 0. So my range, because it's included, I'm going to put a hard bracket. It's going to be a 0, 2, and then it goes all the way up. It's going to be 0 to infinity. All right? That tells me that my y values start at 0 and go all the way up to infinity. All right? So now, and just kind of looking at this parabola, the one I have here, I want to take a look at the vertex. I want to say to myself, okay, is this vertex at the bottom of the parabola or is it at the top of the parabola? If it's at the bottom of the parabola, right here, so it's at the bottom, we would call this a minimum. If it's at the top, all the way up here, we would call it a maximum. So my vertex here is a minimum. Now, let's take a look at this figure over here. This one's a little different. It's a little bit off of our x-axis. But again, domain, we're looking for all the x values. And as I said before, most domains for parabolas are going to be right here, negative infinity to positive infinity. Let's take a look. So all the way left, so it looks like it's going down, but it's still going to the left. It's still going to the left. So my domain here is going to be negative infinity. And then where does it go to? It's going to go down, but it's going to still go to the right. So we're looking from left to right. This is going to be positive infinity. Ooh, that's not a great infinity sign. All right, you get the point. Range. Okay, now we're looking at our y-axis. The y-axis is the up and down. I say, okay, where do I start? Here, but there's the arrow. So that's going all the way down, and we're going to go negative infinity, 2, and then we see how far it goes up. Where do I go up? That's my high point right here, which is at -1, okay, on my y. -1, I put a hard bracket around that because that includes -1. I use the soft brackets whenever a number is not included, or in this case, if I'm ever using an infinity symbol, I always use a soft bracket because infinity is more of a concept and not an actual number. And then I use the hard brackets around any numbers that are included. So if you take a look here at my 0 and my -1, right there and right there, I put the hard bracket around. Okay, then I take a look at my vertex. And I say, what is it? Is it a maximum or a minimum? And I say, all right, is it at the top of my parabola or is it at the bottom of my parabola? It's at the top of my parabola. So that ends up being a maximum. All right. That's a little bit of range and domain within our parabolas. The big takeaway here is usually when dealing with parabolas, our domain's always going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. We go from left to right. It's always going to be all the x values left, all the x values right. And then we go up and down for range, and we want to start with our low value and go to our high value. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're understanding this. I know it's tough to go back and forth on emails about trying to explain range and domain, but please take your time, take a look at this. If you have questions, reach out. Hopefully this helps clear up some of those issues. All right, I will, tomorrow what we're going to be doing, or the next video I'm going to be doing, is going to be talking about increasing and decreasing. We're going to take a look at where functions are increasing from, where they're decreasing from into. So if you have any, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you.